I love him so. I just love him.
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the last movie in our second vintage horror week this year, which has been really cool. Tonight we're revisiting a film that I reviewed about a year ago. We're looking at The Old Dark House, but this time on 4K release from Eureka. That's why I'm revisiting it, so I thought I'd do a 4K release of this version of the film. So let's not waste any time, let's have a look at this edition. So here we are guys, here is the physical release of The Old Dark House on 4K for the first time here in the UK, released by Eureka Films. This has been out, I think it came out a little bit last year, but this is the 4K edition. I do have the Blu-ray edition already in my collection, which we have already reviewed, but as it's another vintage week, I thought it gives us the opportunity to review the 4K of the film, which comes in the 4K disc and new sort of commissioned artwork. So that is the physical release of The Old Dark House on 4K. It's bog standard. It does have a reversible sleeve, and the sleeve is the same as the Blu-ray. Now the Blu-ray release I've got has got a wonderful booklet with this. I don't know if there was a collector's one before this, like a limited one that may come with a slipcase and a booklet. Unfortunately I didn't get that. I just got the normal 4K, but I'm still happy with it. Is there any special features? So here we are guys, here is the main menu for The Old Dark House on 4K, released by the Masters of Cinema series of Eureka. You have the film with the original mono soundtrack, an audio commentary with Kim Newman and Stephen Jones, audio commentary with James Curtis, audio commentary with Gloria Stewart, and on your special feature you have Meet the Femmes, you have Daughter of Frankenstein, Sarah Karloff and Dean Otto on The Old Dark House and Boris Karloff, Rescuing a Classic, interview with Curtis Harrington, the 2018 re-release trailer and a still gallery. And that is the special features on the 4K of The Old Dark House. Yeah, there's some wonderful features on there, including our friend Kim Newman making a revisit. So let's get a little bit to the story. So I'm not going to go too in depth into the story from this one because I've already reviewed it and I've already been through it. This is about the Femmes family that live in this old dark house with a troubled father and a troubled brother that lives on the top floor, and they also have a butler called Morgan, who's played by the wonderful British actor Boris Karloff. And it's based in Wales in the UK, and we got this couple arrive in a car trying to make a trip with their friend in the back, and bad weather happens and they sort of crash the car. There's a big landslide behind them and they're stuck, and they find this old dark house and they go in there, and the Femmes family, which are a brother and a sister, let them stay, very creepy looking family, and they let them stay at their own risk, as they say. And a bit later on, as they're settling down something to eat, there's another knock on the door and a couple more people arrive with Charles Lawton and a female, and they arrive, and so they're all spending the night in this house, and then sort of terrible, wonderful things happen as this sort of like the macabre of the house starts to let go and sort of tell us a bit more what's going on with this crazy, because they're saying that the father's crazy, but he seems okay, and there's a brother upstairs which is crazy, and Morgan gets drunk and he starts behaving aggressive towards them, and they try and lock him up in the kitchen, and it's all these sort of crazy things going on. And like the family did warn them, if you stay here the night, bad things could happen. And all these sort of like horrible things happen, with these sort of fights break out with the other family members, with our visitors, as they try to save themselves from being attacked. And we got our queens, our scream queens are on their film, and they scream at anything that happens. And it's a really cool, typical sort of old, creepy house sort of film. Not a haunted house. They've entered a house with a troubled family. A little bit like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, if you think of that. Rather a troubled family rather than a haunted house. But it's really, really cool. So let's get to my 4K review. Like I said, I wasn't going to do a big synopsis because I've already reviewed it on my channel. So this is just going to be a review of the 4K. Now, the film itself, I scored it a 10 out of 10 when I saw it, and I still remain a 10 out of 10. It's a classic. It's amazing. It's a Universal film, but based in Britain, which is really, really cool, with some British cast members like Boris Karloff and things. So it's a British-American film, if you will, released on Universal Pictures from 1932, the same year as Dracula, which I believe we may have done this week as well. So really, really cool, the same year. The 4K transfer, I'm going to score a 10 out of 10. It's incredible, amazing. This film has never ever looked so good. When you think back, this film was initially a lost film. They thought all copies of this film had been destroyed. I think there might have been where these were stored. I think I did read that there was some sort of fire going on, and prints of this were destroyed, but then one was found in like an attic or somewhere like that, I believe. And since then it's been rediscovered and put back out for the past sort of like only about the last sort of 10 to 15 years it's been discovered, considering this film is like getting on to being 100 years old. And it looks stunning on 4K, absolutely amazing. The sound, I'm going to score an 8 out of 10, just because it's in its normal mono soundtrack, and it would have been nice of them to have upgraded the sound quality on there, but they didn't. And like Dracula, there's no real sort of music going on within the film. Dracula's the same. It's really strange. I think maybe it's down to costs, I don't know, but the couple of these early ones didn't have music, only like at the beginning of the film and things like that. So you can hear all the noise, you can hear them moving about like on set and stuff like that. So but that sort of adds to the charm of the film. But I'll give the sound an 8 out of 10. But overall, I'm still going to score this release a 10 out of 10 on 4K. If you've got the Blu-ray, I would suggest getting an upgrade because it does look stunning. If you haven't got it, don't worry with the Blu-ray. Just get the 4K because it looks amazing. And it does have a wealth of special features. And there we are, guys. That's the end of another 4K, not 4K, another Vintage Horror Week. And I still plan on maybe doing more later in the year. And I also want to be bringing a few Hammer Weeks to the channel because I've seemed to have neglected my beautiful Hammer films. And as we've had some new releases this year, it'll be good to bring them in a week of like reviews. So I might be doing that shortly after this one. But anyway, thank you so much for coming in. A massive shout out to my lad. You look after yourselves, guys.